If you take off your glasses right now, and the world instantly turns into a blurry, pixelated mess, you probably think you would have been an instant midnight snack for a saber-toothed tiger 40,000 years ago. It sounds like a total survival fail. If you're nearsighted in the Stone Age, you can't see the mammoth charging at you until you're already a stain on its hoof. But the idea that every caveman had perfect 20/20 vision and that blind people were just thrown to the wolves is a massive lie. The reality of prehistoric blindness is actually wild. They didn't just survive, they low-key ran the tribe, became the elite engineers of their era, and used natural physics glitches to fix their vision. Let's go straight into exactly how having bad eyes was actually a cheat code for survival in the ancient world. First, we need to clear up why anyone even had bad eyesight back then. Everyone thinks cavemen had perfect Ultra HD vision because they weren't staring at TikTok for 12 hours a day in a dark room. And look, to be fair, modern life did ruin our eyes. Myopia, or nearsightedness, is a global epidemic right now because we spend our entire childhoods looking at glowing rectangles inside concrete boxes instead of looking at the natural horizon under sunlight. Prehistoric humans were out here raw-dogging natural light 24/7, which scientifically kept their eyeballs from growing into elongated, buggy football shapes. But genetics do not care about your outdoor lifestyle. Genetic mutations causing severe blindness, astigmatism, and lazy eyes have existed since the dawn of humanity. Scientists have literally checked the DNA of ancient skeletons and found the exact gene variants that cause bad eyesight today. On top of that, there is a little thing called aging. Even if a caveman was born with perfect 20/20 vision, the second they hit 35 or 40, their eyes did the exact same thing your parents' eyes do when they try to read a text message. Presbyopia. The lens inside the eye gets stiff. Suddenly, the most experienced hunters in the tribe couldn't see the tiny poisonous spider crawling on their firewood or the subtle track of an animal in the dirt. So yes, bad eyesight was absolutely present in the cave, but instead of leaving them behind, the tribe realized that blurry vision gave these people a completely different superpower. Imagine a caveman named Thag. Thag can't see a deer if it's more than 10 feet away. If you put a heavy spear in Thag's hand and tell him to go hunt a raging woolly rhino, he is probably going to miss the rhino entirely and accidentally impale his own cousin. So the tribe chief looks at Thag and says, "Bruh, your hunting stats are trash. You are off the field. Go sit in the back of the cave and make our weapons." This is where the massive evolutionary plot twist happens. Nearsighted people have an insane macro vision advantage for things right in front of their faces. Their close-up focus is incredibly sharp compared to far-sighted people. Back in the Stone Age, making weapons wasn't just hitting two rocks together like an idiot. They practiced something called micro-flint knapping. They had to take a piece of obsidian, which is volcanic glass sharper than a modern surgical scalpel, and precisely flake off pieces that were millimeters thin to create arrowheads, sewing needles, and scraping tools. If you have perfect distance vision, staring at a tiny reflective black rock 3 inches from your nose for 8 hours straight will give you a blinding migraine and eye strain. Your eyes aren't built for that. But for blurry vision Thag, that was his exact comfort zone. His eyes naturally focused perfectly at that exact micro distance. The blind cavemen essentially became the Silicon Valley software engineers of the Stone Age. They stayed inside the safe, warm cave, gatekeeping the highest technology of the tribe, while the 20/20 vision jocks went outside to do high-stakes cardio and get stomped on by prehistoric megafauna. Now you might wonder, what happened when the tribe had to pack up and move to a new area? Didn't the blind guys just trip over a tree root, fall off a cliff and get deleted from the server? This is where human nature proves that we aren't just selfish animals. Prehistoric humans survived because they played the game of life in co-op mode, not solo queue. They lived in deeply connected, egalitarian tribes where the golden rule was simple. The pack carries the squad. If someone had terrible eyes, they didn't get left behind, they got a designated walking buddy. Someone with 4K vision would literally guide them through the terrain. And the blind person wasn't just dead weight during the journey either. Because their vision was a blurry mess, their brain automatically reallocated its processing power to their other senses, specifically their hearing and smell. When you can't rely on your eyes, your ears become hyper-tuned. A near-sighted or blind caveman sitting by the fire could hear the faint rustle of dry leaves or a twig snapping in the pitch-black darkness from hundreds of yards away, long before the star hunters even noticed. They acted as the tribe's natural early warning radar system. They would sit completely still, tilt their head, and warn the tribe that a predator was creeping up from the north before anyone could actually see it. It was a perfect symbiotic relationship. You lend me your eyes for the walk, and I'll lend you my ears to keep us alive at night. But what happened when a blurry vision human absolutely had to see something far away? They didn't have a prescription app, but they did discover a literal physics glitch built into the human body. The pinhole effect. You've probably done this yourself without realizing it. When you lose your glasses, you squint your eyes until they are almost shut, or you make a tiny, microscopic circle with your fingers and look through it. Suddenly, the blurry world looks sharp. Scientifically, blocking out the scattered ambient light forces a single, concentrated beam of light directly onto your retina, instantly correcting the focus. Prehistoric humans used this glitch constantly. They were out here squinting like absolute maniacs to check the horizon for incoming storms or herds. But the real engineering peak happened with the old-school Inuit and indigenous tribes of the Arctic. They took this pinhole hack and made actual hardware out of it. They didn't have glass, so they took pieces of walrus ivory, caribou antlers, or wood, carved them to fit perfectly across their eyes, and cut tiny, razor-thin horizontal slits right through the center. While these goggles were originally designed to block out the blinding glare of sun reflecting off the snow to prevent snow blindness, they realized it had an incredible side effect. The second a near-sighted hunter put on these antler goggles, the narrow slit acted as a permanent pinhole lens. It instantly sharpened the blurry landscape, allowing them to spot movement miles away across the tundra. They literally invented prescription tactical eyewear out of Arctic animal bones thousands of years before modern optometry was born. So here is the final takeaway from the Stone Age. If evolution wanted every single human to have flawless, robotic 20/20 vision, the genes for bad eyesight would have been completely wiped out of the human gene pool millions of years ago. The weak-eyed individuals would have died off immediately. But they didn't. Because a successful human tribe didn't need 50 identical clones who could only throw spears. A real survival squad needed diversity. They needed the far-sighted jocks to track the animals across the plains. They needed the near-sighted macrovision creators to stay in the cave and engineer the tools that kept everyone alive. They needed the older members with stiff lenses to remember the history, guard the camp, and identify poisonous plants. And they needed the audio-attuned radar bros to listen out for monsters in the dark. Modern society makes you feel like an NPC if your body or your eyes have a little glitch. But history proves that your specific glitch is exactly what makes you necessary for the group. Next time you drop your glasses and have to crawl around on the floor like a fool, just remember, 30,000 years ago, you wouldn't be a victim. You'd be the chief tech officer of the cave, chilling by the fire, eating the best steaks, while everyone else did the heavy lifting. Thanks for watching. Smash that like button, subscribe for more real history, and drop a comment below. Would you be a hunter jock or a cave engineer? See you in the next one. Peace.